Hi guys, welcome back. In this part we are going to finish the effect. We start by adding a layer node to create the flash. We enter the node and set up the lifetime. Then we add a billboard node. In the position input we plug a local position to world node. We add a curve sample rig and set our curve. We plug it into two multiply nodes. In the first multiply we set the value we want for the scale, and in the second multiply we are going to plug the global scale attribute. After that we plug the multiply in the scale input of the billboard node. Then we drag from the color input and create a color node. We plug the color attribute to the color node and the emissive amount attribute to the RGB scale. And to finish we set our texture. I used the same texture I used for the sparks. And that's all for the flash. Next we create an event multiplier node. We set its duration to 0, then set the spawn count mode to total particle count and the spawn count to 4. After that we drag from the event multiplier output and create a layer node for the fire. We double click on the layer node and we set its lifetime with random values. Next we add a billboard node and we set the texture to be the same as the one used before. After that, from the position input we add a physics rig. Then we add a VRAND node and a multiply. We plug the multiply in the local position to world input. Next in the multiply we plug the VRAND and the global scale attribute. For the velocity we add a RAND node and a multiply. We plug the global scale attribute in the multiply and connect it to a node called effect axis up so that the particles will only move in the up axis. And then we connect the effect axis up node to the local direction to world node. Now for the size we add a curve sample rig and set our curve. We add two multiply nodes in between, one to set our size by default and another to plug the global scale attribute to it. And finally we set up the color. We drag from the color input and add a color node. We plug the color attribute to the color and the emissive amount to the RGB scale. And that's all for the fire. Now the final part of the effect is the smoke. To create the smoke we duplicate the event multiplier and the layer node from the fire. We add a curve sample rig and we multiply it with the VRAND node. Then we use the same curve to multiply it by the RAND node from the velocity. We change the values of the RAND nodes a little bit. After that we remove the color related attributes and set the color to black. For that to work we need to change the transparency type from additive to alpha blend. And finally we set the global sort override to -1 so the smoke appears behind everything. And that's all. We can test our attributes and see that they are working. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something new and I'll see you in the next one.